very true, like, because you really can't tell unless you ask. So sometimes you really can, and sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know. So you might as well just shoot your shot.
Okay, shoot your shot.
I mean, the worst they can say is no. I feel like that's wrong.
Thirsty. I have a girl code that I think
he can't like. I don't care if it's a picture of the dog on the page. Nobody better like.
I feel like you should look at it like, I deserve this. Yes, this is my money. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Melonated Opinion. It's your girl Melissa.
I'm Crystal. What up, peoples?
And I'm Takara. So we are going to stick with something we've been doing that's been kind of fun. We're going to play Who's Most Likely To. So I will ask my question first. So who is most likely to injure themselves while doing a normal everyday activity?
Ready? All right, we ready?
Wait, this is what I'm gonna ask. Can we say Shanita?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We say you. You wasn't here.
Exactly. So, Takara, you picked me. Why did you pick me?
I don't know. I feel like I remember you maybe telling me you were a little bit accident prone or something.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to fall every other day. Like it. But I feel like those days are long gone. So thankfully, they're long gone. I voted for Melissa because I feel like it seems like every time I talk to you, I hear you say ouch loud for some reason or another. You're hollering ouch. Yes.
But have I ever had a broken bone? Have I ever got sent to the hospital? No.
Was that the question?
Wait, what was the question?
Accident prone.
Who's most likely to injure themselves while doing a normal everyday activity?
Well, why you pick Shanita?
Yeah, so I pick Shanita because I feel like she says she is clumsy. So that's what made me pick her. And I just feel like she is a little clumsy.
Honestly, I don't know, so it may be. Okay, but let's go to the next question. Next question is, which one of us will be most likely to be late to our own wedding?
Oh, honey.
Yep, I second that.
Oh.
What you say? What did it say, Melissa?
It say Takara.
Yes.
And y'all would be right. When you get the invite, just know it ain't gonna start on time.
Like, I feel like even if a person was planning to be late, like
might want to be a little later.
Right. So yes, at least we all know it won't be a surprise. I
have a problem. I don't know. That's it. I'm not even working on it. So it's just a existing problem.
Yes. So it's no need to put on the invitation because everybody's gonna know. Okay, so let's go into the topic for today. And today's topic is the LGBTQ community treated differently within the Black community? Let's see, what do y'all think about that?
So I guess I can go first. And I would definitely say that LGBTQ community is treated differently within the Black community. And I think that has a lot to do with why the whole term of coming out of the closet is like, I feel like that's something that everybody's saying. Everybody has an issue with coming out of the closet or coming out to their parents because they're like, OMG, you're not supposed to be like that because God doesn't like that. And it ends up going back to religion at the end of the day. And I've heard that from a lot of people within the community.
So you don't think other communities that are not Black had felt that same type of way in the past? You think it was
No, I definitely do, but I can only speak for what I've heard, what I've seen, what I've experienced. That's all I can speak for. And we're specifically talking about the Black community right now. So I just know for a fact that goes back to religion at the end of the day. That's one of the big things. That's the issue at the end of the day.
So I guess, I can't speak from personal experience, but I will say I do feel like it seems like the younger community is more open to talking about it and expressing, or being a little more open and accepting to the LGBT community. Am I LGBTQ community? It's so many letters. Sorry. But I feel like the younger people are more accepting, and it's not even like a thought of accepting. It just is. It is what it is. Whereas maybe I think that's probably an issue older people are having within the Black community.
Yeah, and I have a question for you, Takara. So you stay in the North, and we're from the South, and so I know in the South it was a bigger issue, among the Black community. But I'm curious, in the North, do you feel like at one point it was a major no in the North, or has it always kind of been like no one would stop talking to their kids, like it wasn't as extreme?
I personally don't know of anybody whose family shunned them because they were LGBTQ, but I do feel like I know of some people that don't have the conversations, but it's just known that's they don't necessarily sit down with their grandparents and say, hey, this is what it is. I think it's just unspoken and understood with, amongst them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
And I feel like just to kind of add to what Takara had said earlier, I definitely think it is an older generational thing, just because I feel like a lot of the older generation still cares about their representation or how they're looked, whatever. And I think the young community is kind of like, oh, well, I don't care. At this point, you either like it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that plays a part in it.
I also feel like the older generation don't fully understand it. I feel like they're more accepting now. I feel like because of the way that they were raised and taught, they don't fully understand it. And so I've heard them say something like, they feel like it's more of a choice. Well, I ain't gonna say they. Some people in the older generation feel like, is it a choice or is a person born that way? They're not quite sure how it works. Have you heard anybody say that? They were not born like that. It's a choice. It was a choice or something.
I have heard both sides of that. I've talked to people who said they like the same sex from a very young age. Then I've heard some people that said that it kind of developed over time. And I kind of feel like that's what happened to me. Mine kind of developed when I was younger. And even though I've been in the community for a long time, but I just feel like that's when mine started. I was one of those that mine started when I was younger. It wasn't necessarily just when I was a little kid, but it just kind of developed over time when I was in middle school and then went to high school and got older.
So, I mean, don't take it the wrong way. It's just me asking questions so when you're younger and you are looking at, a female, is it, you're just oh, okay, I like this person's personality, or, I want to get to know them more. How did you know that you were, starting to be interested in females?
It's just like liking a guy. How when you like a guy, you look at their looks, you look at their personality. It's the exact same thing. There's not really a difference, or, if you're drawn to something, you're going to start liking it. And you know that you're drawn to a big group of the same type of thing. So that's kind of how I knew for myself. And also mine developed over time.
And so the reason I asked was because you said it happened over time. So to me, it sounded like you were saying you were only interested in boys at one point, and then all of a sudden you started slowly being interested in females. That's why I was asking.
So in middle school, that's probably the earliest I could say that I 100% knew, okay, I do like women or girls. So that's, it kind of happened for me for sure in middle school.
So again, like your mom said, I hope you don't take offense, and if you're uncomfortable, just say that. But do you feel like kept it in for a long time? Like, do you remember when you first told somebody, like your friend or a family member or whomever?
So, okay, story time. So when I was in school, pretty much all of my friends knew. Everybody knew besides like I wasn't hiding it. It's just like if you asked me, I would say yes. As far as I remember, I don't know, Mama, you asked me that one time and I said no. I don't remember that part. I just know as far as people asked me, I would say yes. I would tell the truth. But I just like wasn't open about it. Like, you know how some people you can clearly tell just by looking at them, and some people you can't. So I feel like I was one of those people that people would have never guessed unless they saw me talking to one or talking to another girl, or they saw me. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, people probably wouldn't.
So we talked about, how it's hard for the LGBTQ to come out of the closet or to tell others. So for you, do you feel like it was hard for you to tell, your family or, the people that you talk to the most?
I don't think it was hard. And I kind of told my family like later on, just because, I had got a girlfriend. It was kind of like, I'm not about to hide my girlfriend. So I might as well tell everybody now. So, I don't think it was hard at all. I kind of knew what they were going to say. Like, I don't think they're going to be like, oh my gosh, Melissa, absolutely not. Like, I knew they weren't going to say that. But it's just like, I just waited just because I didn't know what to expect. And I also know it would be like kind of off guard for them. And at that time, I don't know if I was prepared to answer all of the questions.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Because I don't know, to me, it's kind of like on one hand, it's kind of like, well, you're coming out of the closet, but it's like, if you don't tell anyone, it's not like you're not giving them the option for you to feel, comfortable enough to just say something, unless you feel like there's going to be a negative reaction. But at the same time, I guess it's really no one's real business. But I guess it, maybe with the relationship with whoever you're close with, in the family, that could be a discussion. But to me, it just feels like, you're not, how do you give someone the opportunity? And you can't say you came out the closet when you didn't give, it's like, it has a negative wording to me. When somebody say came out of the closet, to me, it sounds like they're saying they were scared and now they want to be free and speak their truth because they feel like they were going to be looked at crazy. But I'm like, you wouldn't be looked at crazy. You kind of put that on yourself is how I kind of see it. Not just you, but people.
No, I get what you're saying, and that does make sense. But I just knew for me, I knew I was kind of nervous, but at the same time, I'm the type of person that I just want to go ahead and get it over with, which is why I did it when I did it. And also, I wasn't actively dating other women at the time. So that's another reason why I felt like, why I bring it up is, it doesn't apply at this moment.
Yeah. And okay, so I have another question. I did want to make sure that I asked the right question and represented, all the ages within the questions that I've asked. So I have another question. So the question is like, I guess maybe people have heard that are curious about, do you feel like, when you're dating someone of the same sex, that you have more problems, less problems, the same problems, like what?
I can only speak for myself. So with that being said, I feel like overall I have had less problems with my girlfriend than when I did when I was dating men. And it's just like I feel like women love harder, like you. And like I said, I can only speak for myself, and I can only speak for what I've experienced with my girlfriend. And I just feel like women love harder than men, and we get the importance of more things than they do at the time, especially with, how they say women mature faster than men. So it's kind of like they're probably still at that age with like, I'm still trying to have fun. And I don't want to do that. So Yeah. I would definitely say it's easier for me, but I've definitely heard the complete opposite from a few people. So
really, you heard that they have more problems dating people of the same sex?
yep.
Okay.
So I used to listen to this podcast called The Read. Melissa, have you ever heard?
The read.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I used to listen to it a lot, but they just got to the point where like they just were mad about stuff all the time, and it just made me mad. So it was not healthy for me. But both of the hosts on the show, she is bisexual and he is he's gay because he only dates men. But they oftentimes like share different experiences and stories or whatever. And once I remember them specifically saying that, one of them like didn't come out to their family because they had already knew like how the family, because you're around your family, you've heard conversations that were had when, people are clueless as to what's really going on with you or whomever, so they said that they didn't come out the closet to their family or they didn't announce it to their family because they already knew how they felt. You know what I mean? Like they weren't new to their parents. So it was like not even a question about how their response would be, I guess. So I know Crystal was saying like if you don't give people a chance, which is true, right? But I think probably sometimes because you've been in conversation with these people about different things or they say different like little like offhanded remarks, you probably already kind of know what it's going to be with whomever it is that you're sharing this information with.
Yes, and I definitely think they should 100% protect their peace if they feel like they need to, especially if they've heard how some of their family members talk and they just know that they don't want to be treated that way. So I definitely feel like if you aren't ready to hear what they have to say, or you don't want to have to fight and argue with them about who you are, and I just feel like honestly, don't say anything. I don't think they should deserve a chance because you can't. I feel like I can't say in my generation because I'm honestly not sure, but I just know some parents who have children, they know nothing about their children, and they just be saying stuff, and it's just like I don't blame them, for not saying anything because a lot of people are just kind of reckless with what they say, and that's why people always say that parents never really know their children.
So what do you suggest a parent should like? Is there anything a parent should say or do in particular, with their kids? Like, should they just ask directly? Like what?
I would say at least just make sure that you let them know that you're extremely open. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that you're open and then when they tell you stuff, you turn around and get mad. Like you just have to make sure that you're matching what you're saying. I would just make sure that they know that they can come to you about anything and, just make sure that you make yourself available if they ever needed it.
So I was going to say, for me, I talk about Carrington all the time. She's only 5, but I always try to let her know that I'm like the safest space in the world for her, as far as like, I mean, she's 5, but, if you want to talk about something that, is bothering you or something that is uncomfortable and you don't want me to tell anybody, all you have to do is say, don't tell anybody, mommy. I think that set them up so that so that you are always their safest space, no matter what the conversation is. You know what I mean? Like I'm your mama. I'm going to love you no matter what, through and through. It's never going to change. So for me, I feel like doing that and sticking with that
along the way.
Is going to help along the way so that your kids can really like when they really need to talk to you, they know that they can do that without being judged or,
And I mean, that's how I feel like my mom was. I feel like she was pretty much open majority of the time. It was like a lot of times if I didn't tell her something, it's probably just because I was super nervous and just still didn't know she was going to say it. And I was trying to avoid the speech because I don't like speech. I can't stand speeches because I already know. So that's that was probably my issue a lot of the time. But my mom, she did that along the way, and I feel like I came and talked to you about. I probably told my mom all kind of stuff. So, like you said, that definitely plays a part.
Yes, but the funny part is you was telling me about everybody else's business. Like you talk a lot, was telling me everything. And I'm like, out of all these conversations we had, at no point did you ever have the time to tell me about you. I'm like, oh, okay then.
Yep, that is me. And that's what I'm saying. I honestly don't know why I did that, or just why it never came up. I honestly don't know, because I don't know.
Do you think you were struggling with it at any point? Like, do you think you ever were like, you know, dang, do I really feel this way? Or do I, like, did you ever feel some type of way within yourself? Like maybe it was wrong, or it was, you know, because if, because I can understand what you're saying. Your mom was completely open, so you knew you could talk to her, but you say you felt uncomfortable. So was it something about you deciding that this was what it is and this is who I am that kind of made you uncomfortable about yourself?
No, because I feel like if I would have felt that way, it has to be when I was really younger, because once I hit, probably even like once I hit 8th grade, like I pretty much knew that's what I liked. I liked men and women. So I never really questioned it after that. It just really, I didn't know what their reaction was going to be. And I definitely know different parts of my family would and did react differently. So I also took that into consideration. But no, I don't think I ever like went back and forth. I pretty much knew, especially after like the beginning of it. Like when I first started liking the same sex, I was like, do I really like the same sex? But like I said, after a while, I knew for sure I did.
And you were good with it? Meaning like you didn't have any inner turmoil with yourself about it?
No. But yeah, because like I said, I was very open about it in school. Somebody came and asked, like my friends knew. So if they had came and asked me, I would have said, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So my question is, so do you feel like females are treated differently than males as far as how they're looked at by society? Like, who do you feel gets it worse, is looked at worse? Females that like females?
Definitely men. Definitely males that like the same sex get it worse than females, because apparently it's cute or sexy when it's a female, and that's
because
super weird.
You hear guys say, like they want threesomes and things like that with two women, and that's like, ooh, like women, you don't hear them being like, I want you.
I'm just saying this is what I think and what I've seen with my own eyes. But a lot of the time, men that be like, oh, get me away from, what I'm saying, a man that's gay. Like I feel like they like guys, because why are you so pressed? How is he bothering you? Like it's people that just be so upset and so mad and do all kind of stuff, and it's giving you're scared to come out and you like the same thing that they like, but you're projecting. Ooh. Like how you get treated. And that's what I'm saying. I just feel like I say that a lot. I was like, he definitely likes guys. Just like by the way they react, like you can't, I feel like they think they're hiding it and they're not. Because at least for me, I can clearly see it.
So do you think, before a person talk, can you tell, what their sexuality is?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. Mm-hmm. Not all the time. That's what it's like, this whole thing about like bisexual girls, because a lot of people say that they can't tell that they like the same sex unless they give some kind of look or something like that. But which is very true, like, because you really can't tell unless you ask. So sometimes you really can, and sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know. So you might as well just shoot your shot.
Okay, shoot your shot.
I mean, the worst they can say is no.
That is true. That is true. You won't know if you don't ask.
Ooh, I remember one time when I was at Heinz. I don't even, Crystal, I bet you would know them, but I can't even remember the girl's name. But I was like at the receptionist counter at Marshall Hall or Allen, and I had on a watch, and she came and she twisted her arm around my arm, and she said something to me, but I didn't even know she was like trying to talk to me. And when she walked away, somebody was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Wait, oh, I don't what." I'm so confused.
Yeah, I definitely think some people are kind of like scared. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not as direct as it should be. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and ask them. You know, like I said, the worst they can say is no, and you keep it pushing to the next one. And I also wanted to add, if there's like anybody that's young and, you know, y'all are scared to tell your parents or your friends, just be yourself. At the end of the day, you have to finish living your life for yourself. So, you know, be your true self. Make sure you have your own identity. Don't try to be like anyone else. You know, just be yourself.
But thank you so much for sharing with us, Melissa, and giving us info that we did not know. I enjoyed the conversation.
You're so open and honest. Thank you.
Yes. I love being open. That's why I try to make sure I am, so anybody can ask you stuff, you know. But moving on to the next thing will be the letter. Ladies, I'm going to make this quick. I have two questions. First question is, what are your thoughts on people who have a work husband / work wife? Secondly, what are your thoughts on people flirting with their coworkers while they are in a relationship? I've heard people say it's harmless since it doesn't go any further than the job. I'm curious to know your opinion.
Well, you go. Okay, I'll say for me, I feel like the biggest thing is it's going to depend on what you and your partner are okay with. That's the biggest thing. Also, whatever you do, think about would you be okay if your partner did it too. Mm-hmm. With that being said, I wouldn't want to give up my work husband.
So funny thing. I think it's a very slippery slope because a lot of affairs start on the job. That I have a work husband. He brings me coffee, and he knows my favorite thing in the summertime are burgers on the grill. And he just brought me a burger from the grill yesterday. Like I have a little heater that one of a different coworker got me for a Christmas present, and I've used it every single day. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside or 10 degrees outside. I use it. It's my boss calls it my security blanket. But it went out like a couple months ago, and so I ordered one, but I had to wait a couple days for it to come in. He had a heater, and he gave me his heater. So I appreciate my work husband. He does all of the nice things for me. But we've been like that for years, and it's never been like anything to it. Okay. So it's possible, but I guess it depends on the person.
Question. So if you were in a relationship, would you give, and your partner asks you to give him up, would you give him up? Like, that's question one. And should your partner be worried if you were in a relationship?
Are you going to bring me coffee at work every day? Do you bring me my grilled burgers? Did you replace my space heater? So probably I just wouldn't even tell him.
Wait, so I guess my question for you is, would you be okay if your husband / or boyfriend, whatever?
Nobody better be bringing him no food from
No, you can't do that. You can't
bringing him no coffees every day. What do I look like? Yes, it's a double standard. I do not care.
So that means he would be bringing them coffee and giving them
biscuits. I wish. Let me find out. Because it's going to be all the smoke.
To go ahead and add on to that, for one, I don't play that. I don't have one. She don't have one because I don't play that. And it's a no because, are you crazy? Like, okay. Have you lost your mind?
But also, it can be harmless. It can be someone that you just like talking to.
And this is the thing. It is super harmless. Like me and him, like nothing has ever happened. We don't even
way
like.
You were just cheesing. I say otherwise.
No, really, nothing has nothing has ever happened. I promise you. Like we've never like touched each other inappropriately or like nothing.
So is he in a relationship? That's the next question.
At times he was. Yeah.
I just know for me, that's a no-go. And I've actually been going back and forth with my coworkers about it. Actually, because I had asked one of my coworkers, I was like, do y'all date? Like, what's going on? She's like, no, that's just my friend. And it does not look like her friend at all. So I just know I would not be okay if my girlfriend was doing that with someone at work. Flirting every day, no.
But I don't even know that we flirt.
Because I come up there. That's why. I bring
and
lunch.
I believe you too.
I say hello. I do. Well, I'm not lying at all. Because I'll bring lunch. I'll eat lunch with you. I'll just come there and say, hey, maybe I have to. You just never know what I'm doing up there one day. Surprise.
Okay. Well, don't let no work husband, work wife sneak up on you then, because
right. No, don't let her sneak up on them. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, well, that was an interesting question. I guess you got both sides of the fence over here. Some say, don't try it, don't pull it. And I say, oh my God, what would I do without him? But that was our show for today. Today's topic was interesting. So if you have anything that you want to add to it, maybe share what your experiences have been as, being part of the LGBTQ community, or share them with us. And if you have a work husband or a work wife and your actual partner doesn't know about it, or they do, tell us about that too. So you can reach us at the Melonated Opinion at gmail.com. You can reach us at the Melonated Opinion on Facebook and Instagram. So we hope to hear from you, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.